facts on the collapsed building emerge. Nigerians condemn vote buying and prefer solution to the ugly trend. Plus, correspondent on special duty examines infrastructural development in Nigeria. These and more on Panorama today. I'm Ian Ray John. Welcome. More facts about the collapsed building in Ibadan have been revealed. Correspondent Ayomiku Ajibola reports that it has been discovered that another 4 victims had earlier been evacuated to 2 hospitals. The Oyo State government spoke on the issue after visiting the victims.
The delegation, which was led by the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Aziz Adedutan, visited the emergency ward at the University College Hospital, Ibadan, where Ismail Shegun was receiving treatment before proceeding to a private hospital where Ridwan Oladipo and Ibrahim Said, who were also victims of the collapsed building, were both receiving treatment. While sympathizing with the victims, Dr. Adedutan, however, expressed gratitude to God that no life was lost in the incident. Though satisfied with the level of treatment given to those at the private hospital, he directed that the victims be moved to the state hospital for immediate free and medical attention. The delegation also visited the site of the incident, where they lamented that the incidents could have been prevented if the owner of the collapsed building had not flouted the state's building code.
We have found out that they did not allow the curing period to lapse before continuing construction. See, when you do your decking, minimum of 3 weeks, you must allow it to wait to cure before you start putting blocks on it. They didn't allow that 3 weeks to lapse because I think they were in a hurry to complete the building on time.
So when I came here last Tuesday, I discovered the load the structure is just too much. But I was unable to discuss with the MD because I believe I have no business with him, except the director who asked me to be.
They commended the effort of the emergency and rescue workers during the incidents. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
Let's move to Bayelsa State now, where the Nigerian Army has reiterated its commitment to protecting the nation's territorial integrity and supporting the civil society. Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Turku Buratai, said this in a message at the inauguration of projects at the 16th Brigade Camp, Turku Buratai, Elebele, Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. The report.
The Chief of Army Staff, who was represented by the Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Abuja, Major General Ademo Salihu, commissioned project initiated and executed by the Commander System Brigade, Elebele, Bayelsa State, Brigadier General Kevin Aligbe. Projects commissioned include System Brigade Guardhouse, Intelligence Investigation Room, Military Police Post, Observation Post, System Brigade Garrison, Twin 47,000 tank stand, 16 Brigade Soldiers Club, Warrant Officers and Sergeants Mess, 16 Brigade Magazine, 16 Brigade Medical Center, and Corporal Below Quarters, CBQ. Bayelsa State Deputy Governor Rear Admiral Gboriboya John Jonah retired, reiterated the state government's resolve to consistently partner the Nigerian Army to ensure the state is crime-free.
We would all try to shield the Nigerian Army from any blame. Nigerian Army, to me, is the most important organ that keeps the cohesion of this country, that played this role severally over the years. The most important one was during the war. It has also projected us outside the country.
Earlier, the Commander System Brigade, Brigadier General Kevin Aligbe, had expressed the hope that the project would improve the welfare of officers and men of the brigade.
With what we have on ground as well as those ongoing, you will agree that we have justified the huge investment made so far in this new military community, even as we look forward to more resources to enable us complete the remaining priority project.
High point of the event was the inspection of quarter guard, cultural display, and donation of medical equipment to 7th Brigade, Meduguri, Borno State. Bartai Preawe, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army has released the postings and appointments of some of its senior officers. A statement signed by the Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sarge Musa, says the appointees include Major General H.O. Tiki, who has been posted to 8th Division as General Officer Commanding, while the General Officer Commanding 8th Division, Major General S.O. Olabanji, has been posted to Infantry Corps Center. Other senior officers posted to various Nigerian Army divisions are Brigadier General H.I. Bature from 34 Brigade to Headquarters Training and Doctrine Command as Director Examinations, Brigadier General T.O. Oluwume from Headquarters 33 Brigade as Director Civil Military Affairs, and many others. And now talking politics, the All Progressives Congress, APC, has taken a position on the 6 states of Adamawa, Bauchi, Benue, Kano, Plateau, Sokoto and Rivers, where elections were declared inconclusive and suspended by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, after the March 9 governorship election across the country. The party, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Larry Issa Onilu, says in Benue State, it aligns itself with a report by a coalition of election observers calling on INEC to declare the candidate of the APC, Emmanuel Jimmy, as the winner of the governorship poll. The party says it is concerned and deeply troubled by the unfolding events in Rivers State, particularly about the desperation of the PDP governorship candidate, Governor Nyesom Wike, to remain in office, and calls on the INEC to immediately redeploy Obo Efanga, the resident electoral commissioner in Rivers State, in order to avoid crisis that may follow the organized crime allegedly being executed by Wike and Efanga. The statement added that in Plateau, Kano, Adamawa, Bauchi and Sokoto states, its comfortable lead is unassailable. The party therefore urged its members, supporters and indeed the entire electorate not to be complacent, but remain focused as they prepare for the supplementary election that will give their candidates success. Moving on, although Nigerians in the diaspora do not have voting rights from where they reside, many of them were involved in the 2019 general elections. Some came in while others assisted in mobilizing Nigerians for the elections from their locations. Some of them have been sharing their experiences with Foreign Desk correspondent Makut Simon Macha.
Elected officials would be that they are transparent and then they are accountable for the offices they've been elected to. And we all understand that democracy, it's for them to actually make sure that the dividends of democracy reaches the people that they are representing. We also hope that our elected officials would make sure that we have constant electricity.
I was able to meet other African countries and Nigerians, and we're able to discuss, we're able to rub mind, and after we're able to tell them what is really on ground. Nigeria, what we need is technology transfer. We have everything, we are endowed with everything that we need. If our people there are ready to calm down, and I was able to discuss with few of them, over 90% of them have started doing one or two things in the country.
There's a lot of movement and traffic between the time before the election period. A lot of them came back to participate. So even without them having the chance to do that abroad, those that were able to contributed by coming back to mobilize their families, their friends' support for this administration. So we were glad, that our Nigerians abroad see the progress that we're making, and we're glad that they've contributed to the re-election of President Buhari.
Concern is mounting in Kano over alleged vote buying ahead of governorship election rerun scheduled for this Saturday. This ugly trend is threatening free, fair and credible conduct of the exercise. In this report, Abdullahi Mustafa takes a look at the implication of the alleged vote buying and efforts to nip the problem in the bud.
Gama is one of the 11 wards in Nasarawa local government area of Kano State. It occupies an important position on the political map of Kano State, being the second largest ward in the most populous local government area in the state. Ibrahim Abdulhamid Namadubi is one of the 42,000 registered voters in Gama Ward and is hopeful of participating in the March 23 supplementary governorship election in Kano State. He is, however, concerned with the resurgence of another problem that, if left unchecked, could disenfranchise many eligible voters.
I personally witnessed some 2 women and 1 boy last 2 days were buying this PVC, and the police apprehended them.
So I think one of the effects is such that the people will be denied their own voting right, which is one of the major principles of elections and of democracy itself.
Already, 5 suspects are in the police net and many permanent voter cards recovered.
We are going to investigate the root. Who are those behind all these things? And that one will serve as a deterrent.
Both parties taking part in the supplementary elections disown the vote buyers.
There was a clear directives by the governor that we should follow due process to ensure that we win this re-election.
We are not part of it and we dislike it. We condemn it in totality because it's unconstitutional and it's against the Electoral Act.
These encouraging remarks and swift response of the police renewed the hope of the likes of Ibrahim Abdulhamid Namadubi that the supplementary election will not only be free and fair, but also peaceful. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And away from election matters now, the World Bank says it will commit more resources towards Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project, NUMAP, in Nigeria for greater achievements. The International Financial Institution took the decision after reviewing the 6-year-old project in parts of the country as a success story. Mia Ogidi brings us details.
A pit that was about 25 meters, I would say, now filled up. The old Agboro claimed.
You take a look at that place. Was the state of that my community. So NUMAP came. I want to thank them.
It was a gathering of testimonies, or better still, celebration of success stories of a 6-year-old child, as it were, of World Bank and Nigeria. The Nigerian Erosion and Watershed Management Project, NUMAP, with its presence in 7 states in 2013, but has now extended its tentacles to 21 states and perfectly responding to the challenges of land degradation and environmental insecurity. This multi-million-dollar partnership has brought a lot of healing to erosion sites in the southern part of Nigeria and attending to drought and desertification in the north, which are the low-hanging fruits in the nation's environment sector.
And we keep on praying that more assistance will come to the state to help us fight this menace.
Here is a kind of showroom to give status report of NUMAP, but the organizers call it NUMAP Results Marketplace, and the major financiers of this project take a check on the fact sheets.
For NUMAP, bringing the field to the practice manager is doable, and it has been done.
When the work is done well, it resonates everywhere. It's one of the biggest projects we have, and it is the most successful project we have.
For more of such success stories, prompt payment of counterpart funds by government at all levels is central. Mia Ogidi, NT News.
Many thanks, Mia. And if you just joined us, you're watching Panorama live on the network service of the NTA. More stories after this break. Do stay. Many thanks for staying. It is an established fact that infrastructure is one of the bases for social and economic development. But sometimes, lack of planning makes it difficult to support such development. An instance that typifies this is Garintanko village along Kaduna-Abuja Expressway, where 32 years after, children there are denied from going to school. There's, however, hope to right this wrong, and the community is responding with enthusiasm. Correspondent Usman Aliyu reports on one infrastructure that seems to cater for their plight.
When this road was dualized in 1987, people here in Garintanko
A community between Niger and Kaduna states had great expectations. Their joy gradually turned to sorrow as the busy road has been costing them dearly. The absence of safe turns, pedestrian bridge means a daily unfair race between man and machine, the result of which children of Garin Tanko have to make a choice between life and education as frequent accidents continue to claim their lives. Now the road is undergoing reconstruction and the government understands the dilemma of the people here.
Kuwa wani lokaci da makaranta nan ake so a yi amma saboda ba yara ba su samun wucewa dole yanzu makarantar wa'ansu inda ba sun manyanta ba.
We have a couple of pedestrian bridges and we are even considering possibility of having interchange. We have vehicles can conveniently move and face various directions along the road corridor.
Definitely it should last nothing less than 20 years with the way it's being constructed.
We are since approximately 7 months on ground. We are walking in 3 sections.
For transporters, this road is one of the major arteries linking Nigeria for commercial activities and social integration. So unarguably, this road is very important. And so for that, President Muhammad Buhari considered it among critical road projects to benefit from the Infrastructure Development Fund of $650 million, equivalent to 198 billion naira. Other failed sections of 45 kilometers along Abuja-Lokoja Road could not be delivered 12 years ago, but now the government is fixing it in less than a year. Koita Bridge. On the surface, it's all fine, but in reality, many lives could have gone under it last rainy season. It was washed out by flood. But the timely intervention by federal government rescued it and provided a permanent solution. A herder, Halilu Sani, who lives around the area, wonders how the bridge survived the complacency. It is such interventions and proper planning for infrastructure development by the Buhari government, experts say, will lead to realization of the quest for limitless national development. In Abuja, Usman Aliu, NTA News.
The Lake Chad Research Institute has taken agricultural revolution to the next level in line with federal government's resolve. The institute has come up with improved seedlings to boost wheat farming. Awal Kazari reports that this was demonstrated in Hadejia, Jigawa State during the 2019 Wheat Farmers Field Day.
13 hectares of wheat farm of different varieties were cultivated by Lake Chad Research Institute for planting by farmers. The improved varieties of seedlings, if properly managed, has potential to translate into 6 to 7 tons per hectare. The executive director, Lake Chad Research Institute, Dr. Kalesan Wesley Gwadi, said wheat farmers themselves appreciated the federal government policy aimed at achieving self-sufficiency in food production. There were goodwill messages from the representative of the Minister of Agriculture, Board Chairman Lake Chad Research Institute, and other stakeholders said the event is an attestation that farmers are responding positively to government's clarion call to increase on wheat production. Highlight of the event was the inspection of seed multiplication, wheat farm, and exhibition of wheat end products. Awal Muhammad Kazauri, NTA News.
As the federal government continues to harness every opportunity towards stemming the tide of insecurity and terrorism in the country, the Alumni Association of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies has reaffirmed its support by giving meaningful recommendations that will promote unity and national development. Doi Dia reports that this was at the 39th Annual General Meeting of the association in Abuja.
Lack of viable economy to support the growing population as well as moral degeneration are some of the issues associated with insecurity globally, rising from its annual general meeting in Abuja the Alumni Association of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, KURU, decried the new forms of organized crimes in Nigeria, which include insurgency, kidnapping, and ethno-religious conflicts.
To also appreciate your effort towards building a better society by organizing a dialogue on democratic stability, for national security, and the implications of the farmers-herders conflict.
For the experienced Democrats and senior executives here who are alumni of the Institute, the meeting is not all about their alma mater, but a serious demonstration of their patriotism on nation building.
We intervene at all times on national issues that we believe will benefit the country. But the missing link, actually, is that the federal government is not using most of the report we have turned out from NIPS.
By creating technical committees that will understudy some of these challenges and advise government on the appropriate situations to take.
And with some of the realities on the outcome of the 2019 general elections, a collective engagement of both the government and the governed is required for the actualization of the sustainable peace and development in the country.
I've just finished election. Nigerians will see massive changes in terms of security and development of the nation.
The input of ANI will help in having an enhanced national security strategy
toward addressing the root causes of the Boko Haram, which include but not limited to poverty, unemployment, social inequality.
Also working on a lot of possible strategies
to assist the nation in coming together to a roundtable discourse.
The 39th annual general meeting of the Alumni Association of the National Institute again provided the opportunity to review the security situation in the country with an appraisal on the commitment of the present administration towards providing a safe haven for all. In Abuja, Domi, Dia, NT News.
Many thanks, Doi. Let's now talk sports. As Nigeria's basketball team, the Tigers, is drawn in Group B of 2019 FIBA World Cup. Plus, stakeholders advocate professionalism in sports administration in Nigeria. Olumide Eguntola brings us details. And that wraps up our package on Panorama today. Many thanks for watching. Do enjoy the rest of your day.